将欲取之，必先予之。
统领全军，即刻赶赴大江。
国师，大军后方突然出现了许多带旗子的人，
圣教就是悬在国师头上的一柄利剑。
江百归，大江就是你的葬身之地。
Hello guys, how's everyone doing? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're checking out the Tales of Herding Gods episode 67 spoiler. This part gets pretty interesting, so I thought, why not share it with you guys? Alright then, let's jump straight into the story. So there's this moment where Wang Muran, still shaking from everything that just went down, lifts his master's body like it's the last fragile thing on earth and sets it on the back of this massive buck. And yeah, he actually rides the buck. He rushes after Qin Mu and the imperial preceptor, shouting through the wind that he'll avenge his master. And I'm just watching like, man, that's heavy. The imperial preceptor turns, face carved in stone, and says something that almost sounds like comfort, but really it's more like a command. Your master was great. Learn everything he left you. Pass it on. Don't let him fade away. And Wang Muran doesn't argue, he just lets out this shout, and suddenly the buck is sprinting up into the clouds, straight up, gone, like a myth leaving before we can blink. Then the preceptor drops this cold line, calling the elder an old softy from Little Yade Capital, basically saying, yeah, he got used. Someone sent him to test the waters. And honestly, that's when it hits. This wasn't random. Someone threw this man's life into the fire just to see how hot it burns. And the preceptor keeps talking, like a teacher slipping into lecture mode without meaning to. Little Yade Capital, ancient, mysterious, cut off from the world. Strong, yeah, but outdated. When you lock yourself away from the world long enough, the world keeps moving without you. And he says it like a warning. If you train forever but never step outside, can you really call yourself strong? Qin Mu and the others just nod, quiet, respectful, and I can't blame them. But then the thought creeps in. Wait, someone sent that elder just to measure the imperial preceptor? You ever feel that chill where you realize the game started way earlier than you thought? And Qin Mu knows. You can see it in his eyes. The struggle's already begun. By the time they reach Li City, the war is basically over. The army of eternal peace rolled through so cleanly, the city walls barely caught a scratch. The rebels? Dealt with before they even got comfortable. And Qin Mu notices everything. The strategy, the formations, the way the army doesn't fight like sects do. They fight like they've studied this, learned, evolved. And honestly, it shows. The city itself, still alive, people surviving between storms, like always. Qin Mu drifts from herb shop to herb shop, scooping up a little from each one, and I'm thinking, okay, what's he making here? A cure? A trick? A shield? Night falls. They stay at the yamen, and then the smell starts drifting out, rich, bitter medicine filling the air. A maid comes out, pours the dark dregs onto the stone road. People walk over it like it's nothing. Then another basin, then another. 7 in one night. And I'm sitting there like, just how badly is someone hurt? Morning comes slow. They head south late. But somewhere back in Li City, there's this scholar-looking guy in green robes, calm, sharp eyes, flipping through records of every herb Qin Mu bought. And right away, he calls it. These herbs aren't for healing. So what's the kid hiding? Turns out this isn't just some shopkeeper. This is spiritual master Dao Quan, and he's smiling because he loves the game. He praises Qin Mu for being clever, then basically says, nice try, but you're playing chess with the wrong guy. They even bring him basin after basin of those trampled medicinal leftovers, and he studies them, breaks them down, rebuilds the formula in his head like it's nothing. And when he's satisfied, he waves to his disciples, start the furnace. And that's when you realize the war isn't just on the battlefield, it's in the shadows, in the medicine, in the minds of the people watching. So, a few hours roll by, and Spiritual Master Dao Quan is still hunched over the furnace like a scientist in some ancient lab. Then finally, boom, there it is. 7 different medicines, each one looking wilder than the last. The first one, this crazy thick herbal soup, so strong you could probably smell it from the next county. The second's an ointment, slick, dark, meant to pull poison straight out of the flesh. Then there's the third, a tiny spirit pill, just the size of your pinky tip, silver with little spikes. And when he touches it, ouch, even the chi stings like a needle. Yeah, that's serious stuff. The fourth medicine isn't even solid. It's this milky white gas just chilling at the bottom of the furnace, like fog that forgot to rise. The fifth, a deep red liquid that evaporates as soon as you look at it. The sixth and seventh are spirit pills too, but you can tell each one carries a different story. Dao Quan studies them, and suddenly his face shifts. Respect, real respect. And he actually says it. This little divine physician isn't just talented, he's incredible. With these, the imperial preceptor could be fully healed in 20 days, half a year at most. And then, whoosh, Dao Quan just launches into the sky like he's late for destiny, streaking across the clouds for half a day until he lands in Dali City, this massive Buddhist metropolis with temples stacked like stars in the sky. He heads straight into Loiguang Temple, and the moment he steps inside, all these powerful figures rise to greet him. Cult master level, dangerous company. One guy in a bronze mask smiles like he already knows the answer. Dao Quan lays out the 7 medicines like cards in a winning hand and explains everything. The clash with Wanderer Zhen, the wound, the young healer working in the shadows. Someone laughs, shocked, because Dao Quan, the guy who thinks no one matches his skill, is suddenly praising a kid. And Dao Quan just nods, serious now. Yeah, he means it, because this boy isn't just memorizing prescriptions, he understands medicine, lives it, breathes it. Then he starts breaking it all down. That first soup, half poison, which means it shocks the soul back into strength. So, was the preceptor's soul injured? One old man sighs, yeah, guilty. He struck the soul and got burned back for it. The ointment? Fire poison remover, and another elder admits she landed that hit, right near the heart. And I'm sitting here like, wow, every injury, every ambush, every hidden blade, this kid read all of it through bowls of leftover herbs. Man, that's not just healing, that's terrifyingly brilliant. So Dao Quan keeps going, totally in his element now, like a professor who finally found students worth talking to. He explains the fourth medicine, and yeah, this one's wild. Since the imperial preceptor's inner divine treasures were all injured, normal medicine couldn't sink in. So what does the kid do? He turns the medicine into steam and basically slow cooks the guy in healing vapor. And of course, one of the cult masters cracks a grin like, so why didn't he get cooked? Fair question. Dao Quan doesn't even blink. Because the kid wasn't done yet. After steaming, he switches to acupuncture, hollow needles, by the way, and inside those needles, that fifth medicine, the one that evaporates fast, it slips right in through the skin like a ghost, smooth, precise, kinda scary. Then he points to the sixth medicine, body-strengthening tonic, reinforce the repair job, and the seventh, a full-on nourishment booster, topping off the tank so the preceptor doesn't collapse afterward. And Dao Quan just sighs in genuine respect, because now he knows for sure, yeah, the imperial preceptor is still injured. But, and this is the part that hits, give that kid a month, he'll bring the preceptor back stronger than ever. Peak condition, no lingering damage, clean slate. And that makes the passion-parting palace master frown, because suddenly everyone realizes, oh, the injuries were worse than we thought. The bronze-masked guy just laughs it off, says it's because the preceptor fought Wanderer Zhen, who was seriously powerful, peak divine bridge realm, practically equals, and honestly, you can feel the room tighten a little. Then Dao Quan drops another bomb. Wanderer Zhen is already dead. The preceptor killed him. He felt it happen from miles away. And that lands. The palace master turns to the masked man, and there's poison in her voice now. She's wondering who he really is, and worse, whether he used his old friend as bait, sent him to die just to test the preceptor. And if that's true, who else would he sell out? He just smiles under that mask. Others jump in to defend him. Powerful names, big reputations, and even one of the elders who ambushed the preceptor backs him. So the palace master bites back her suspicion, at least on the surface. But the question still hangs there, thick as incense. If this man betrays someone, would anyone even know who did it? Finally, the bronze-masked man looks around the hall, calm, collected, and shifts the topic back to what really matters. The imperial preceptor is hurt. He's healing. Time is not on their side. So he asks the room, do we wait and let him recover? Or do we decide now? And you can almost feel it, that edge of the cliff tension, like the whole world is holding its breath. The temple just goes quiet. You know that kind of silence where everyone's thinking the same thing, but no one wants to be the first to say it? Yeah, that. Finally, someone breaks it. They lay it out plain. The imperial preceptor didn't just show up. He came loaded. 4 pillars of state, top-tier generals, first-rank officials. This is the definition of stacked. And if they try to take that head-on, no chance. Then Ma Lianshan steps in with the obvious, but also the truth. On the streets, in the shadows, in the courts of the martial world, the sects dominate. But war? Real armies? Strategy, formations, artillery, discipline? That's Eternal Peace's home turf. So why fight them where they're strongest when the sects have their own advantages? And everyone's nodding now because that actually makes sense. Then the passion-parting palace master speaks, and suddenly the room feels heavier. She brings up what happened 200 years ago, the battle technique school, back when they were fierce, proud, completely unstoppable. They fought sword cultivators and spellmasters every day and didn't back down from anyone. And now? Gone. Faded. Absorbed into other schools, like they never existed. All because they marched into the capital, confident and loud, and challenged the imperial preceptor. And he broke them. Alone. You can almost feel everyone remembering where they were when that story first reached them. So she asks the question nobody wants to touch. If we play by the rules of the martial world, aren't we just walking into the same grave? The bronze-masked man finally asks what she's suggesting, and she doesn't flinch. Not even a little. Her plan is simple, brutal, and totally outside tradition. Lure him to a place. Don't duel, don't debate, don't posture. Just everyone attacks at once. End it. And when she explains why, it hits like cold water. Eternal Peace only became what it is because of him. He's legend, power, influence. If he ever wanted the throne, the emperor would basically have 2 choices: step aside or die. So if he falls, Eternal Peace cracks open. And she says it straight. If that takes breaking the rules of the martial world, then so be it. Whew, yeah, that's big. Most of the leaders agree, even the ones who clearly hate the idea, because sometimes fear speaks louder than honor. Dao Quan watches quietly, and you can almost hear his thoughts. This isn't the martial world anymore. This is court politics bleeding into everything. Once this line is crossed, can they ever go back? Meanwhile, far away, Qin Mu keeps up his little performance, treating the imperial preceptor city after city as the army sweeps south. Calm on the outside, storm on the inside. And somewhere in the middle of all this, you can't help but wonder, who's really in control of this game anymore? Down south, the land is soft with rivers and lakes, but none of them are giants like the surging river. Which means, defending against an army like Eternal Peace, Basically impossible. The troops just roll through, steady as a tide that doesn't care what's in front of it. And Qin Mu, whether he admits it or not, already helped pave the way. Summoning Du Tian Devil King, wiping out Heaven Wave City, that was a turning point. Huge. But of course, nobody's giving him a medal for that. By the 5th day, they roll into Exceed City, already taken. The air's quiet, a little hollow, like the city itself hasn't figured out who it belongs to yet. Then this old beggar shuffles up, ragged clothes, patched sleeves, leaning on a cane and holding this sad, cracked bowl. Monk Yun Kuei immediately starts fishing for change, and Hu Ling just slips him a big coin like it's nothing. Kind of sweet, honestly. The beggar grins, shakes the bowl, blesses them with kids and prosperity, classic beggar energy, and then casually drops the bomb. He invites the Imperial Preceptor to Daishang City. Second choice, heroes of the world, will be waiting. Oh, okay, that escalated quickly. The Imperial Preceptor barely looks at him, cold voice. Basically says, why don't you people wait a few days so his army can just flatten everyone at once and toss the bodies into the sea? Whoa, harsh. But yeah, that tracks. Then the beggar laughs, and suddenly his body opens, like 7 great doors slamming wide from the inside. His aura surges, terrifying and divine, and for 1 second you forget the rags completely. This isn't some random beggar. This is someone the world once bowed to. Daishang City, he says. I'll be waiting. Big moment. Real big. But just as he turns to leave, Qin Mu calmly says, hold it. The beggar crouches down, confused, and Qin Mu just nods at Hu Ling Take the money back. He's richer than we are. And she does. Just reaches into the bowl and plucks the coin out. The beggar loses it, calls them impotent, over and over, furious. Hu Ling freezes. Young master, what's impotent? Qin Mu, completely calm, it means you can't have children. And wow, she erupts, spits straight in the man's face. He just laughs, calls her dead meat, and vanishes into the sky like the insult powered him. She shouts after him anyway, you're impotent. Honestly, I kind of lost it there. The Imperial Preceptor finally explains, yeah, that's Qi Daiyu, sect master of Beggar Sect. And Beggar Sect? Oh, they're a problem. Petty, vindictive, scheming. If you don't give alms, they don't just pout, they ruin your day, or your life. And Qin Mu decides right there, this is far enough. Time to head back to Imperial College. But the Imperial Preceptor just says, flat and final, no, you're following me to Daishang City. Oof, yeah, no escape. Later that night, Qin Mu slips into a gambling den of all places and quietly orders the owner to call in the sacred cult. Teleportation flags, full mobilization. Big move. Until, hold it. Si Yun Xiang steps forward, and she's not the shy girl from before. Her voice is cool, steady, sharp as a blade. If you do that, you drag our sacred cult into the storm. If something happens to us, who takes the blame? And suddenly, this isn't just war anymore. This is responsibility. Qin Mu turns around slowly, voice calm, almost lazy. Saintess, I'm the cult master. Si Yun Xiang smiles, sweetly, respectful, proper, just for a second. Then her whole expression flips cold as winter steel, and she lays it out straight. If the secret cult openly helps the Imperial Preceptor, they'll lose everything in the martial world. Reputation? Gone. Trust? Gone. Every sect will treat them like enemies. No place to stand. No place to hide. And honestly, she's not wrong. But Qin Mu just shakes his head, quiet, certain. This sacred cult already walks in shadow. Reputation isn't what keeps them alive. Power does. Position does. And if they stay out of this, that's when they'll really disappear. Then she hits him with the real fear. What if the Imperial Preceptor wins and turns on them next? Silence. Qin Mu looks at her once and simply says, "I'll take responsibility." Whoa, big line, heavy. Si Yunxiang shifts again, smiling, light, but there's a knife behind the expression now. Sure, he's the cult master, he decides, but if he's wrong, well, there is precedent for saintesses killing cult masters. Yeah, not exactly a stress-free job. She reminds him one died chasing women, the other was beaten to death alive. Not great branding for the position. Qin Mu waves her off like none of this rattles him. Orders given. 360 halls, teleportation flags, summon the guardians, war footing. When he steps back outside, she's waiting, teasing under her breath. Beaten to death alive? He pretends not to react. You coming or not? She follows, still poking at him, half smiling, half serious. Maybe he should stash the cult's sacred scripture first, just in case he doesn't make it. Qin Mu stops, turns, and this time his voice isn't playful at all. If your judgment is that I'm wrong, and you come to kill me, you'll just die first. Then he lifts a finger and draws glowing lines in the air, a triangle, then a line through it. This is you. Another line. This is me. No matter how wide your path spreads, his will always reach farther. And for a heartbeat, you almost believe it. Her sword case trembles, blades humming to life, and she smiles like she might just test the theory. But he keeps walking. There's no need. On the same realm, no one can beat me. Not you, not even the Imperial Preceptor. He stops again, looks up at the sky, and there's this strange loneliness in him now. I'm the Overlord body, the only one in the world. And the way he says it, it's not pride, it's isolation. Si Yunxiang freezes, her killing intent just evaporates, because standing there in that quiet night, Qin Mu doesn't look untouchable, he looks alone, and she can't help thinking, Overlord body? Stronger than the 4 great spirit bodies? Is that why the Patriarch chose him instead of her? So guys, that was the episode 67 spoiler. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button and tell me in the comments which episode you want next. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys!